So welcome to the tutorial on Checkprint Review and Release. This is the good documentation practice, electronic checking procedure that avoids the need to create a paper copy of the file that has to be checked, that then has to be scanned back into the system and then also creates a disposal issue. So it's a more sustainable practice. The last person to work on a document is called the originator. They're also the person who sets the document up for the review cycle. To do this, they open the document that is finished and ready to be forwarded through the checking procedure. They use the review track changes protection in Microsoft Word. There's also a similar one in Microsoft Excel. It just works slightly differently to this. If we use restrict editing and we allow only tracked changes and we enforce that protection, which is done using a password, make it a very simple password and make it the same password every time so that nobody ever has to wonder what's the password for a checkprint, because it becomes quite irritating and will lead to mistakes if multiple passwords are used. And we're not trying to protect the security of a document here from tampering. We're trying to protect the document from accidentally being changed by the reviewer without the originator being aware of what those changes were. Because in the end of the day, the originator has to, and the reviewer have to agree with each other, and they have to know what each other has done. So the checkprint watermark tells us that this is a document. It also serves a useful function that if a third person who's not aware or that the document is being readied for release opens the document to do some work on it, the checkprint watermark will tell them not to do any work until the document is released. The next step is to make sure that the review cycle is actually set up using the Control tab in the Advanced User Interface. We can use the document routing to route a document for review cycle. This can be a peer review cycle or it can be a single review to a qualified technical resource. So we would like Colin McCarthy to check the document. I've set up the routing now. This will now send the current reviewer, the first reviewer, Colin McCarthy, an email asking him to check the document. It will also, because I'm the originator, send me an email, a copy of what I sent to Colin McCarthy. So now, playing the part of Colin McCarthy, I will open the document that I've been asked to check. It opens, tells me it's a checkprint. I review the document carefully and according to the policy. So insertions and deletions are recorded. When I'm finished my check, I essentially sign the document. There's one good thing about doing electronic checking is it's kind of hard to fool the system. I may have typed in that Colin McCarthy is the person who checked the document. But if you push your cursor over any one of the changes that Colin McCarthy is alleged to have made, you'll see that actually Des Lyons made them and then actually signed his name as Colin McCarthy. I'll save the changes I've made in the document. I now again open the Control tab and the Advanced User Interface. I want to inform the system and Des Lyons via email automatically that I have in fact created and completed my reviewed document. So I call up the document, remind myself, yes, this was the document I was asked to check, I am the current reviewer, and I update the review cycle. The notification has been sent to the current reviewer, which would be the next person in the chain. Receive an email saying that the document has been checked and is ready for release. So I'm going now to take the final step here. I'm going to open the document again. And here we are, the checkprint, and we've got some changes in there. Colin has let me know that the document has been checked. I can look at these changes and pronounce myself quite happy with them and apply my approval signature to the document. The policy can require you to note that the document was back-checked prior to being released. So now I want to save this version of the document as the checkprint. It has the original document, it has the changes that were made, suggested and approved, and before we delete that record we record it as the checkprint. So to do this again, we go back to the Control tab, we open the Advanced User Interface, we create the checkprint, and it tells me now that you've created the checkprint you can proceed to release. One final step is to tidy up the document ready for release. So now we take off the restriction on editing, we accept all the changes in the document, we remove any watermark, and we save the document. And finally, we can progress to the Advanced User Interface and release the document as a check-printed, released and reviewed document. Release document and submit the changes. And that's one method of electronically checking a document and saving paper generation unnecessarily.